Hello students, welcome to the economics class of class 9, chapter 2, People as Resource. Students, the chapter People as Resource is an effort to explain population as an asset for the economy rather than a liability. Population becomes human capital when there is investment made in the form of education, training and medical care. In fact, human capital is a stock of skill and productive knowledge embodied in them. People as resource is a way of referring to a country's working people in terms of their existing productive skills and abilities. Like other resources, population is the productive aspect to a country. This is the positive side of a huge population that is often overlooked when we look only at the negative side. When the existing human resource is further developed by becoming more educated and healthy, we call it human capital formation. That adds to the productive power of our country, just like physical capital formation. So investment on human capital through education, training, medical care can bring a huge change in a country, and this can be directly seen in the form of higher productivity, as they will earn a higher income. Population need not be a burden for the economy. It can be turned into a productive asset of a country. There is two stories which illustrate how people can try to become a more productive resource. You read these story at your home because that means you can read those stories, but the result is that the changes in the life of Sakal and Bilas, as Sakal got his education but Bilas did not get their lives are totally different from each other. Sakal was physically strong also than Bilas. As a result, Sakal found a good job while Bilas continued with the same work. In the case of Sakal, several years of education added to the qualities labor, and this enhances his total productivity as well as the economy. Now we shall discuss the economic activities of men and women, classified into three main sectors. They are primary sectors, secondary and tertiary. Primary sectors includes agriculture, forestry, animal husbandry, fishing, poultry farming, etc. Whereas manufacturing is included in the secondary sector. Trade, transport, communication, banking, insurance, etc. are included in the tertiary sector. The activities in this sector result in the production of goods and services, which are called also economic activities. These economic activities have two parts: market activities and non-market activities. Market activities involve remuneration to anyone, but non-marketing activities are the production for self-consumption. Due to the historical and cultural reason, there is a division of labor between men and women. Women generally look after domestic chores and men worked in the fields. As for example, Sakal's mother cooks food, washes clothes, cleans the house and looks after her children, but she is not paid. Bhutta, Sakal's father, cultivates the field sells the product and earns money for the family. On the other hand, Geeta, mother of Vilas, earned an income by selling fish. So thus women are paid for their work when they enter the labor market. Their earning is determined on the basis of education and skills that of their male counterpart. So education and skills are the major determinants of the earning of any individual in the market. In many cases, women are paid low compared to men, but now the scenario has changed. Women are also working in many sectors with their qualities and skills. Some women have entered administrative and other services, including jobs that need high levels of scientific and technological competence. So thus there we can see changes in the society, and women are also working outside. Students, I hope you understood this class, and we will do the next class, and in that class we will discuss the rest of the topic of this chapter, people as resource. Thank you very much.